let's stay with meeting professionals, right? Maybe it's not necessarily a boardroom, but some of these meetings we're at, there's a lot at stake, whether it's 100 people or 10,000 people, really. The contracts, the rooms, the food, the beverage, the catering, all the aspects that go into that. And there are people that have to be reported to. How do you bring to those conversations, whether it's the boardroom, your direct report, a committee for an event, connect bringing the soul into that type of meeting or encounter that can ultimately have an impact on the event experience?
Yeah, I love it. Well, first of all, I also want to say thank you to every one of those meeting professionals. I mean, it is such a Herculean task to create the experiences where you really feel something. And so thank you. I love being a part of all of those. And I know everything. I mean, that is blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. I think what truly makes an exceptional experience is that you can feel the humanity that is a part of it, right? That it's not some formulaic approach like, oh, well, it has to be A and B and C and D. And I understand there are certain elements of an event that we know are best practices. But at the same time, when I think about the events I've been a part of, whether I was a participant in the audience or a speaker on the stage, it felt like it was created by a group of humans. I mean, not that we don't do anything by ourselves, right? But you can feel the love and the humanity and the passion in it. And to me, that is the soul, right? So I think if you start from a place of what is my truth, like as a human, how can I bring in when I think about success? And this goes back to how we each define success. And I will always say when I go into a conversation around an event that I'm going to be a part of as a speaker, what does success look like on the other side of this? How are we defining success? Because to me, that's getting to the soul of what we're wanting to create together, what we're wanting to accomplish, and ultimately what we want people to feel. And I think success is actually a feeling. I don't believe success is this checklist that we've been taught from a very, very young age. I believe it's a feeling. And that is like, how at the end of the day do we want people to feel when they walk out of this room and back into their lives, and how they can start carrying that forward? I call that the ripples of impact. To me, that's the new ROI. And so I would say to every meeting professional, like, how do you want your team to feel in creating this, so that that feeling gets infused in the experience you're creating and is ultimately translated to how your audience is feeling? That's soul, Seth. That's our truth and our essence imbued into what we are putting out into the world.
Yeah, I love that ripple of impact. I mean, the feeling, and that is a unique stamp or a unique kind of fingerprint that's different for everybody. There are, for those who are more engineering minded, there is a way to, I gather, measure, put a key performance on, what a feeling is. But at the end of the day, it's something that inhabits you, and it's an experience, and it's a feeling, and it's a fleeting moment. They don't last, but they do nurture and provide nourishment to you.
Mm.
And I think that is what you're speaking to there is, you know, bringing that humanity, bringing that connection, which can lights a little bit of a campfire for the soul, if you will, and keeps
Yeah.
keeps the flame burning.
Well, and can I give a very practical example? So I was just thinking
Please.
as you were talking about your newsletter and yeah, on LinkedIn, it reminded me of a note I got this morning. So about 3 weeks ago, I was speaking to the Promotional Products Association International, to the women who are basically creating the most awesome swag in the world, right? So all aspects of that industry. And I was their closing keynote. And I talked about this idea of permission and permission slips. And just this morning, one of the women sent me a note. So this also speaks to your earlier question, like how can we like infuse this? Well, you can bring this idea to your team. So what this woman, she wrote to me and she said, "I love this idea so much and it felt so empowering to me that I wanted to bring it into my organization." And we started using it. And she told a friend of hers at 3M, the producer of Post-it notes, about this idea. And so they made her Post-it notes. I don't have them in front of me. She's sending me a bunch that literally have the question that I asked. So, what do I need to do, not do, feel, what do I need to give myself permission to do, not do, or feel? And she now has a series of those, and she said 3M wants to talk about potentially, like, creating a case study or doing something cool. They wanna talk to you and understand more.
Ah,
That
beautiful.
part is not the point. That is, I mean, that's super cool, but what's really, really cool is that this was a way for her to engage on a deeper level with her team and for each of them to get honest with each other about how they're showing up, what they need, what they need to give themselves permission individually, collectively, in order to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish in a bigger, more badass, more powerful way. And so I just got that this morning, but I've gotten a number of those after speaking. And that, like, that to me, Seth, is everything. Like,
Yeah.
and so this is not only an individual tool that you can, work on while you're having your morning coffee, but it's something you can bring into your teams and share because it gets dialogue going. It gets sort of this truth and this honesty, and it brings soul into the conversation.
Yeah, that what a great little anecdote, not little, what a great
It's cool,
anecdote. That
right? I know.
yeah,
Literally this
so
morning, I was like, goosebumps. This is why I
yeah.
do what I do.
Well,
That's ripple of impact.